Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Mizzle. You're watching my channel Mizzle 14, and I'm here doing a review of Iyanla Fix My Life, Season 7, Episode 1. I appreciate Iyanla coming back. I was so hoping to see if she was going to come back with more healing process and more stories and stuff to review, because I enjoy doing Iyanla Fix My Life reviews. I did the whole last season, so please go to my playlist. I will put that in the video. This video, the playlist of season 6, and watch all those if you get a chance. Because she gave different stories and viewpoints and values and stuff and lessons that we need to learn in our own individual lives. And sometimes it helps us. She says she doesn't do the show just to help the family, but she also do the show to help people, the viewers, who probably experiencing things, because things that they probably was going through that they probably will never talk about. And that's exactly as prevalent in the African American communities. It's like it happens in a lot of families, but most in the African American communities, we don't talk about things that is probably damaging to our family. We look at things that we probably don't need to look at to be judgmental on, but stuff that is really could damage your children, could damage your livelihood, could damage your household, your spouse. We keep that secret. We shut it down, and then you want to reveal it when you're on deathbed. No, and then you don't heal that, and then your children growing up feeling alone, not abandoned, feeling rejected, feeling no closeness because you haven't gathered that, you haven't given that, you haven't shown any aspect of yourself to them, and also you keep things hidden. When the family keep things hidden, it's create this deep rooted build up in yourself that feel like you need to explode, and when you build relationship with other people, you can't handle that because they're triggering things that you should have been handling and talk about and handle that when you was younger than when you're in adulthood. Although most people grow up being adults not healing from their pain of their childhood. So it's very troubling to grow up and not having healing, not forgive, not be in love, all that stuff, because that does trickle down to your livelihood, and then sometimes you usually mimic stuff that you were trying to run away from, you have a problem with. So if you grow in a household with no love and affection, you yourself might grow up not being loving, attentive, and effective, and an affection person to your loved ones and your children. So it is a generational cycle. It comes down, it goes down a cycle and cycle and cycle until someone decides to break that. And when you break that, and it changes the whole dynamic. So that's how it is. So this show, Shay Bucky Johnson, y'all know Shay from reality TV. She did Flavor of Love, y'all know her from there, and she also from Love and Hip Hop. She was in Atlanta and now Miami. And it's one thing to have a reality TV show stars, because sometimes you don't know what their intentions are. Are they there for TV, or they there to really actually heal? So some people are, some people are not. So, and then they have a hard time trying to deal with the process and accept the process because they want to hear the truth from the other people. You can't write the show and then dictate and narrate how it should go and how you want it to be. So yes, she has celebrities sometimes on the show because it's marketability for her show. It's business plan. It's a good business move. But also she does a lot of normal, everyday people with some emotional stories. Like some of the stories last season was heartbreaking to the core. But it's stuff that we go through. And I like that she gives the light on that. So Shay wrote the show. The mom had 3 children: Shay, the middle child, Joe, the oldest child, and MJ, who was Marcus, the youngest. We met MJ in Miami when he was dating Amara, not Legala. And that's that. So Sandra came in, and it was a mirror exercise. Said, state what you see when you look yourself in the mirror. And the mirror was distorted. So it was not like a straight mirror like in me. I've seen you see a whole good thing. But if you see me all fuzziness, it's like, okay, it's a problem with the camera. But now the mirror was all distorted. It's something with the mirror. But she said, she standing strong and said, I'm a strong black woman. I said, so you discarded what is shown to you at first. It's to state what you see in yourself in the mirror, not look what's behind what you see, but state what you see. You see a distorted, broken person, but instead of saying that, she said, "I'm a strong black woman." Okay. Now the same aspect, Shay did the same thing. When Shay came in, and Iyanla asked Shay to do the same thing, and she said, "I'm a strong, intellectual, beautiful woman who's self-made, all that stuff." But the same mirror, it was all distorted. See how the mom and daughter patting each other, even though they can't stand each other right now? And you saw the distortions, but you looked past that, ignoring the brokenness that you going on inside you and how it's impacting your family. Alright, so the mom had a habit of comparing Shay to her boys. She said everything with her boys is good, but her and Shay, they problems is issues. But I was like, you can compare it to Shay to your boys, because she does that a lot. When the first session with Iyanla, she was comparing. And she said, well, the boy's this, but Shay's this, and the boy's this, but Shay's this. So Iyanla said the worst thing you can do is compare your children. Because I said that is true, because you will do worse if you want to make your children compete with each other, because you favor one way, and then you tell this children, "Oh, why are you not doing this? Because your brother did this. Why are you not an straight A student? Your brother is doing this. Why are you not like this? Your brother's good with sports." It's like, or your sister, whatever it is, they're comparing you to your other siblings, and it's not right. Each child is their own individual person. So comparing one child to another child is not good, because what you do in that sense is like you discarding their individuality and trying to make them the person their siblings is, and that's not who they are. That's probably not what they're passionate about. That's probably what their value are. Each child is different. They all grow up different ways and value different. They may be the same household, but they all grow up different ways. So you can't tell one children, "No, be like this, be like your sister, be like your brother." No, be yourself, and I will love you just as much as my other children. So that's the worst thing you could do. So she was doing that. So she told Sandra that you can't be doing that. It's damaging. And also, it was an aspect that Iyanla showed cards. It's stuff that she had said about Shay. Now, one card in particular was Shay was a demon child from hell. And the mom refused to acknowledge that. She refused to accept that she said that. She acknowledged all the other ones that she said, but that particular card, she refused to say that she said that. She said, "I didn't say that. I did not say that. I know I did not say that." And Iyanla said, "You did say that. Exactly what you just said." So give me the tape. Give me the tape. I got receipts. I will show you what you said. Play back the casting tape. And she said those same words. Shay's a demon child from hell. And she said, "Oh, y'all edit that way." No. The only edit would you give them. They condensed they edited the condensation of the tape. They condensed the tape. But they did not edit what you said. So they would never have that in the tape if you never said that. But you did. So you feel that way about your child. You feel your child is a demon child. So you always going to give this hatred and anger towards your daughter. And that's something that you should not have done, because that's what you go to. You always go at it. It's like, "Oh, she's this demon. She's this." But how she became that way? What led her that way? Instead of listening and sitting down and talk to her and see how she's getting, what is actually is a problem, or what's actually is triggering this, but you always attack mode towards your own daughter. Like, so Sandra didn't believe that all her children had issues with her. So when Iyanla had to sit down with Joe and MJ, they both say yes, the issue with the mom, and they want to address it. And they also talk about how Shay is being rude and disrespectful. Now, we didn't know MJ and Shay haven't talked to 6 or 7 months. They didn't talk to each other. How well you can't talk to your brother and sister for a long time like that? That's crazy. So they haven't talked to each other for a while, over whatever reason, because they had arguments. He shuts away, she lashes out. He can't deal with that, so he's keep quiet and he runs away from her and don't deal with her. Joe's in his own world, and Shay lashes out. So that's how they all each handle things that it was dealt to them, because they haven't really have emotional wellness of expressing their feelings in the family. So it's that way that the function of not having that emotional connection is what each one of them do is show the function, communication of how they handle that. MJ runs away. Shay lashes out. Joe develops himself in work and not deal with the outside world and try to neglect everything else. The responsibility, just driving work, and be successful in that. One of the way first problems. So they mentioned. She also mentioned how a lot of kids, a lot of the children was blaming the mother, which I understand because she raised them. But the father, it takes two to make the children. So why everything's on the father, but no one? Why is everything's on the mother and blaming the mother when nobody put the fingers on the father? He probably had a point in the breakdown of the family. He's in a way in the army. Maybe y'all feel type of way that he abandoned y'all and left y'all together with the mom just by herself and not have both of y'all together. But they said he always showed love and affection. Even he's far away, he always say he loves them. He appreciates them. He give them support, emotional wellness, and connection that they was looking for the mom who physically, and he's been attentive even though he's not there physically. He's been attentive. The mom is there physically, but she's not attentive. So now they putting the blame on the mom. It's like, listen, we're not getting this from you. Because we didn't get this for you, this lets on to us doing what we're doing now. So they never had that emotional safety to express their feelings in the household because they feel like if they express themselves, the mom will get angry. And that's not something that the mom should be doing to your children, because then they gonna come around and say, oh, I can't say nothing to mom because she always gonna have a hard time to deal with it. She gonna have a problem. She gonna lash out at me, and that's how a lot of parents are. They don't want to have a hard time hearing the truth from their children. And it's not always. It's sometimes we don't want to say things to hurt our parents because we know how they get. But how can we heal our own self if we can't able to tell the person who we should trust to not lash out on us when we express our own feelings? That we had this feeling for a very long time. But since they didn't want to shame you and not say anything, they keep that aside. And then you be shocked when they do have an issue and they blurt it out in an argument or say, oh, that's why they like this, it's like that. But you show shocked that they have feel this, but they have been always feeling this way. You just never gave them the opportunity to express it because they didn't feel it was safe to say. Right? So that's what they got from that. So they feel like the mom direct her anger for her, probably the father abandoning her and left her with just all the responsibilities onto her children. So she said she's not really no punks. She's not doing this, all that craziness. She's not giving love. She's not being attentive. She's not being communicating well. She's not giving affection, no hugs. It's like MJ felt alone. He felt abandoned. He felt rejected, and just like a lot of stuff. Joe feel like he's not getting the affection from his mom, the acknowledgement, if he anything. That's that. So when they told the mom that they have issue with you, she was like, wow. She did not know they have issue with her. Because she thought everything was good with her boys. The only problem was with Shay. Now Shay feel like they all point their finger at her like she's the problem of the breakdown. And that's not right for Shay because they always pointing fingers, oh, she's this, she's disrespectful, she's rude, we can't deal with her. It's that, it's an issue, all stuff. But she's pain, she hurt, and she had pains as well. But nobody gave her a chance to sit down and talk to her and let her express herself. It starts from the mom as well. It starts from the mom. And that's crazy. Now, it's also Iyanla in the mom in the beginning mentioned how Shay one time left the house for 2 weeks and didn't come back. And because Shay didn't like that the mom told her not to smoke in the house and everything, so she left out the house. And Iyanla said, I have my son and I was making chicken. He didn't like I make a chicken and he didn't want that. She said, oh, did you buy the food? No. Did you buy the clothes that you're wearing right now? No. So take off anything that you didn't buy. You can step out the house if you don't like what I'm doing. He stepped out the house and then he came back and said, Mom, I apologize. And he never did that again. So what is the disciplinary action that you take into Shay that is a consequence of her running away and not coming back? Right? So as always, it's no consequence, nobody's checking Shay when she goes this way So they decide to shut down, and she know how to shut them down, so they won't continue to come at her. But it's all a false facade of being hurt. Okay, so MJ and Shay haven't talked for a while. So when they brought Shade in, they wanted to tell Shade that she's rude and disrespectful, and it's more that she thought she's not. And Shay wanted to respond right away, but Iyanla didn't give her the chance to respond because she said it's not meant for you to respond right now. She just wants you to hear how they have view you and how it's a breakdown of you. You will get your chance to talk, but you got to trust the process. She would give her a chance, but Shay didn't want to get that chance. She said she didn't want to hear it. She wanted to respond right then and there. She wanted to respond back because she said everybody pointing the finger at me, and I feel they pointing the finger at me. They blaming me, and I didn't have to say, you don't want to get me to say nothing? F this process, F you, F that. I said, girl, like really? Like how you gonna come like this? You wrote the show. So if you wrote the show, you gotta trust what she wanna do. She has a process. You can't tell her how she do her process. She will give you a chance to talk, but the fact that you so hell bent that you want to attack right then and there instead of wait and hear them out, and it's how they feel. Whether you feel that they right and wrong, that's how they feel. Nobody's feelings are invalid. Everybody have right feelings, right? So nobody's feelings are invalid. What you feel is how you feel, and their feelings is just as much truth to their feelings. So nobody can tell you, oh, you wrong for your feelings. No, that's their feelings. So they can't be wrong for how they feel. Whether it's right for the situation or not, but that's how they feel. So the next day, the boys, Joe and MJ talk, and MJ feel like Joe abandoned him. He felt lonely because his father left the house. MJ looked up to his older brother, and since his older brother wasn't giving him, he felt he wasn't getting attention from his brother. He felt like he wasn't getting affection from his brother. He felt alone. He felt rejected. He felt abandoned, and he didn't get acknowledgement from his mom and everything. Everything he do right, he didn't get acknowledgement, all that stuff. So his brother left him there, and he just felt type alone and abandoned because of that. And he got jealous because his brother would do something well, and he'd get praised for it, and then he's like here, and he's like he's a problem child, and he can't do anything right. So it was like, wow, that's damaging. So they hug it out. They good. Now Joe have a problem with his relationship with his wife because now the stuff that he wasn't getting from his home when he was growing up is now triggering that and stuff that he's mimicking his mom. Now he's not showing affection to his wife like that. He's not being very truthful and forthcoming. He's very deceptive. He's not being very authentic. He's very dismissive of stuff. Stuff that Brandon experiencing is stuff that he probably experiencing by his own mom, and now it's seeing it trickling in his own relationship. Sometimes we go in relationships with stuff that we maybe can see in our childhood. So if you're not getting the affection of your mom, and you're not getting this from your mom, it's triggering down how you treat your own wife. So they brought the mom in the dating table and they talked to the mom, and she heard them. She heard that they was not communicating well. They was not affection, no love, no hugs, no I love you, none of that stuff. Favoritism, rejection, all that stuff, and she had to deal with that. She heard them, and she said she didn't know the tools. She didn't know how. She thought the best what she can in the situation you get, and she didn't know how to really deal with being left by the father and dealing with all the children. That's it. Probably because that how she was taught and raised, it was not the same. Probably the way she learned from her parents, and that she triggered that to her own children. So they try to get Shay back. The mom and MJ talk Shay on the phone. Shay would say, oh, she didn't want to let me say anything. I ain't like what she said. I ain't like how she came at me. They pointing the fingers at me, trying to blame me, and I ain't trying to say something, and she didn't want to let me say anything and all that stuff. And I said, I ain't like the process and all that stuff. She was going off. So she left. The next day, she came back. No, they called her and said, can you calm down? We need you. We need you to complete the family. We need you here and all that stuff. Now, when Joe had to sit down with Brandy got her feelings out because she was trying to be at first very guarded, how to say, and Iyanla had a war in between those two, and how when Joe was started talking, things had tilted towards Brandy, and it was like, did you feel how the things that you have been doing is putting all the stuff on her? You shifted on the blame on her. You put all the stuff on her table, and not knowing that it's affecting her. Like she feels small because you always want to be a center of attention. You crave attention. You crave acknowledgement. You be very dismissive for her feelings because you so focused on your own self. You not focused on the union of your marriage. So, and he always needs a validation and stuff. So stuff that she felt that he's been doing and has been neglecting her and stuff. So he apologized. He wanted to make better, do it right there. She appreciates his intentions and she forgive his, understand his intentions and accept his intentions, but it needs to be backed by emotions and actions, not emotions, actions. And I said yes, that's true. It needs to be backed by actions. Now they had a final sit down with Shay, and they each gave a piece of, they apologized to Shay, how they gave her a chance to speak her voice, how they blamed her and stuff. Now before that, it was a three water pots with flowers, and how the mother nurtured each children. She gave a lot of nurturing to Joe because his flowers are full bloom and nice. MJ was halfway. It was a little bit distorted, but it was okay. But with Shay, it was rotten. So y'all each gave different pieces of the rottenness to her, and she's broken. So the water nurturing was dead. It's not really there for her. So she's giving a product of what y'all give her. And that's that. That was deep. Also another thing that was deep, that was said on the show, was that when you feel wrong, you always fight to be right. It's something that Shay, when she was attacking Iyanla and being disrespectful to and rude to Iyanla, something that she said she's not, because they always feel like Shay is wrong, so she always feel like she's wrong, so she always gotta attack everybody and feel like she always right. So no, that's not what happened. This is what it is. This is it. And Shay does that. We see that a lot on TV, that she always feel like she has to be right, and that's not right. So when I said to sit down, they all talked to Shay and say they apologize. She accepted, but I still don't feel like Shay was always 100% there. Like she came in with a lost skirt. Last time she came with her girls all out. But I say, what are you going to a club or whatever? Because the first time she came on the show, she came with her girls out. And I said, girl, where you going? And now this time she came with a long short skirt. So a short skirt. I said, girl, what you doing? Whatever. She came there, apologized, they all said a piece, they hug it out. And they say go work on it. And that's how you do it. You gotta work on it. Work on communicating. They give me a commitment to be affectionate towards each other. Also be committed to have more family meetings like this. They have to sit down and express themselves and be there for each other. And also, and not put the blame. Hold each other accountable for your actions, but don't put the blame on them. And Iyanla had Joe lead the final family meeting because Iyanla said she crossed the line and she's disrespected, and this is consequences, so she won't be continuing the process and helping Shay in that moment. She had Joe, and she need her, call on her, and she'd be there. So she sat in the back and she watched on the camera the process, and they hug it out, and that's that. So the family are better, working on a better relationship with each other. Brandy or Joe are better for each other right now, and they're working on themselves, and they're going to marriage counselor, and most of the family appreciate the process. So we'll see how that goes, and help they continue the tools and work on themselves, do different things, do things differently, not always go in attack mode, not always being guarded, not always on a strike back, but sit back and listen to what a person's going to do. Why are they lashing out on you? Sometimes. And another last thing I want to say is that parents always so far focus on the finance aspect of raising your children, not knowing that in an emotional connection with your children is just as much important than our finance. Yes, you pay the bills. Yes, you put food on the table. Yes, you provide shelter. Yes, you provide clothes. But all that stuff said is good, said and done. But we see in generations and years after years how a lot of kids feel like the one common denominator that they don't get from their parents that make them the way they are now is like they're not getting love, they're not getting affection, they don't get I love you, they don't get no hugs, they get that tough thing and a strong built thing. Oh, you gotta be tough, you gotta be this. But that's why a lot of boys, a lot of guys or whatever don't express their emotional feelings because y'all don't get that. There's nothing wrong with that. If y'all probably get that when y'all was younger, y'all probably won't be this hard, defensive, acting out, lashing out children. Not just the boys, the girls too. So that's just important. Yes, the bills and stuff is good, but kids need that emotional connection. And they don't feel that, they gonna grow up doing the same thing with their children. They get for you. They gonna be hard. They gonna be dismissive. They gonna be not being effective, um, affectionate, and all that stuff. And that's not right. So that's just as important than the finance. So when you out here trying to say, oh yes, I provide bills, I did this, I do this, all that, but they need you still physically there, present, validating them, appreciate them, praise them when they do right. Don't always scold them when they do wrong. Praise them when they do right. Love them. Hug them. Say, I'm here for you. I love you. That goes a long way. Y'all don't think that does go a long way. A lot of people overlook that simple human connection that makes us want to be better. But if a lot of families, a lot of parents dismiss that one particular aspect of loving and being affectionate to your children, because they always so focused on survival mode, but now focus on the emotional connection. If y'all do connect both the dots, then your children would probably be better off. Not say it's going to be 100% soundproof, but most children go off in the deep end and being hard and building walls because they never get that simple, basic human connection with their parents. And that's what caused them to lash out and do other things because they didn't get that. So that's my little final word. That was Iyanla Fix My Life. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Tell me how y'all feel, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.